Police say a suspect is in custody after the latest disturbing incident on the TTC. Let's go live now to CP24's Mark Liverman for the latest on what happened today. Mark.
Yeah, like you mentioned there, Lindsay, it sounds like a suspect now in custody after an incident that happened just after noon today. I want to bring in Stuart Green, spokesperson with the TTC. Stuart, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, Mark. Good afternoon.
So if you can kind of run us through this incident, because it sounds like a TTC employee was involved in this incident as well.
Yeah, so I mean, look, like everyone, we are incredibly concerned that, these random acts are happening on the TTC. We saw another one today in downtown Toronto. Clearly there's something going on, and I don't know what's behind it, but in this particular case, it was the fact that we had staff in the stations that allowed our special constables and Toronto Police to make a quick apprehension and arrest in this case. So the janitor saw the altercation between two parties on the platform at Bloor-Yonge Station. Immediately called that in. It was reported through our transit control center. They were able to dispatch special constables and Toronto Police. The train was held at Rosedale, so just one station north, and someone was quickly apprehended. So, the system worked as it should. We're very fortunate. We're very thankful that no one was injured. But these are stark reminders that there are things about security and safety that we need to do better at the TTC, and that's why our 2023 budget accounts for some of that by having additional special constables, having additional street outreach workers as part of that budget.
Stuart, you were saying, so this janitor that was involved, that called this in, was able to stop this suspect. Obviously, the train was held here at Rosedale Station. Did somebody hold this suspect down? What kind of happened between when this incident happened at Bloor and here at Rosedale?
Yeah, so there's not too much of that information that I actually know. That would be a police matter, and I'll let them speak to that. But what I do know is that the janitor who witnessed this did all the right things, immediately called it into our transit control center. We were able to relay that. We have a direct connection with Toronto Police in our transit control center. They were able to relay that information through both police, special constables, and through the operator of the train, and just say, hold that train at Rosedale. And so the system worked as it should in terms of, getting the person who was believed to be responsible for the action. How that, how the apprehension went down, I don't know.
Okay, and it sounds like in this case, the victim wasn't hurt. That's correct, right, Stuart?
Yeah, as far as I know, again, I'll let police speak to that. As far as I understand it, the person who the attempted push was able to get on a train and continue on their journey. But again, police would have more information about that.
Stuart, I know you were talking a little bit earlier to the fact that there have been a string of violent attacks on the subway going back to, more than almost a year now. I can tell you in June there was a woman who was lit on fire. She died at Kipling on a bus. There was a random attacks that happened at High Park where two people were stabbed. One of them ended up dying after that incident as well. Talk a little bit more big picture as to what else is being done to stop these things from happening.
So as I say, these random incidents are by their very nature unpredictable. So one of the ways that we can address those is, and one of how we are addressing this is we're going to have more bodies in the station. Yes, there are some additional special constables, but there are also additional street outreach workers. We're going to have more of our supervisors in stations. They'll be highly visible, give people that extra level of comfort and security that they need, but also to act as deterrent. And again, as we saw today, making sure that we have people who are able to assist if an incident does occur. So these are, as I said, our budget includes additional special constables, includes additional street outreach workers. The mayor was talking yesterday about, looking at some creative solutions, potentially some mental health supports. These are all very welcome things. And just based on the nature of what we're seeing, I think that, it's that time. We are a transit agency. We're not a social service agency. Our core business is public transit. We have an obligation to our customers to keep them safe, and we will do that as best we can. But there's clearly a broader conversation that needs to happen here about the root causes, what's behind all of this, and how do we address these incidents before they even happen. So we're more than happy to be part of a discussion about reducing or identifying root causes of crime and reducing these incidents before they happen.
Stuart, one more thing I want to briefly touch on before we wrap up here. You mentioned mental health professionals, something Mayor Tory brought up yesterday, possibly having mental health professionals on the TTC to help stop these kinds of things from happening even before they start. Any more details that you can provide on that possibility, what that would look like, how many, if there'd be a timeline on that front?
I don't have any information like that. I think at this point, these are just conversations. Everybody is trying to think big picture. Everyone's trying to think outside the box. Are there creative solutions that we haven't addressed before? As I said, the TTC is not a social service agency. Having street support workers and mental health support workers hasn't typically been part of our core business. But clearly, the times have changed. This is a new approach for us, and we're happy to be part of a conversation with the city if that's what it comes to about any new creative solutions, and I think that's what we're talking about. The mayor, the CEO, met with police chief just this week to have these very conversations, and they meet regularly with the mayor as well. So this is, everybody's at the table. Provincial and federal governments, we'd like them to be at the table in terms of broader societal issues and addressing the root causes as well.
Stuart Green with the TTC spokesperson, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Mark.
So like you heard there, Lindsay, in this situation, this most recent situation that happened earlier this afternoon, that suspect now in police custody, according to the TTC. Lindsay, back to you.
And a very interesting conversation on what needs to happen moving forward, Mark. Okay, thanks so much. That's CP24's Mark Liverman.